What's up guys, Matt back again with another video, and today we're going to rank the best figures of 2022 that came from Dragon Ball Ichiban Kuji. Before we dive into the video, please remember to subscribe and hit the bell, like the video, comment your thoughts down below for us to discuss, follow me on my socials, and consider becoming a YouTube member to enter into our monthly giveaways and Discord server so our community can help you on your Dragon Ball figure collecting journey. So guys, as you saw in my 2022 Kuji ranking video, if you didn't see it, I'll put a card right here so you can go watch that video and see how I ranked all 6 Ichiban Kuji that came out in 2022. But we're going to break down the figures that were within those sets and how I would rank them from best to worst in a top 10. So what we'll do is we'll rank 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Then we'll go over 5 honorable mentions that didn't quite make the top 10. And then we'll rank the number 1 figure of 2022. So I have the tier list right here in front of me. Boom! Big effect. All right, now that we did that awesome transition that I know I did a great job in during editing, we have the tier list in front of us right here. So we'll go through each one and talk about them and why I placed them on here. Now, I'm going to try and be as objective as possible when I rank these figures. There's going to be a little bit of bias. Like, I might put a figure on here that I gave like a 4 out of 5 or something, but that I personally just love, for some reason. So, there's going to be some bias. It's my personal list, but don't worry. I would love to see your list for 2022 figures down below and how you would rank those, but I highly recommend picking up pretty much every figure that's on this list. So let's start with number 10. Number 10 is going to be Ultimate Gohan from Ichiban Kuji, Dragon Ball Super Superhero. This is our very first master release of Ultimate Gohan. It's a great figure. He's pretty good in height. I think he's like 10, 11 inches, almost 11 inches. They made him taller than I expected him to be, but there's so much to love about this figure, from his detailed hair. It's got like a little bit of a shine to it. Like, it's not glossy, but it is kind of shiny because in his ultimate form, he's got like, he's brighter because he's got all the ki and aura around him, I guess. So I like that little touch on him. The sculpt is fantastic. His likeness is superb. The only issue with it, I feel like, is they made his hair a little too thin. Like it goes in instead of out, but it's not a huge deal. It still looks fantastic on the character. And for our first Ultimate Gohan as a Master Release, I'm extremely pleased with it. He is one of my favorite Gohan figures, and he's pretty easy to find, super affordable if you guys want to pick something up like him. But happy that he came out and is probably a highlight of that superhero set. I think I named him the best in the set. He's just really cool. He's just an awesome figure, and he demands a presence when you have him on your shelves. Number 9 might surprise some people, but I'm going to put Imperfect Cell at number 9. So I love this figure quite a bit. There's some things that kind of annoy me. His tail is huge. Like, his tail goes way far back, so they gave you a little stand to support his tail because he'll fall backwards without it. It's so annoying to move him around when I'm doing reviews and size comparisons and stuff, but that's just, that's part of it, and that's something that a lot of collectors aren't going to go through because most people, once they open it up and they display it, probably not going to move their figures around as much as I do. But I like this figure a lot. I thought it was interesting that they went with the white eyes instead of the pink eyes. I think his eyes are white in the manga. Maybe they're either white or blue. You can let me know in the comment section below. But I thought that was interesting. The colors are a little more muted than I expected as well. So they're deeper, darker greens instead of the bright greens. If I do remember correctly, Cell did have darker greens in this form, but he also had some lighter greens too. So they went with, I guess, a little more of a realistic paint style for him. It's not bad. Just I wish it was a little brighter to go along with my Perfect Cell from Omnibus Super. But it's a solid figure. It's really tall, has a lot of great details, and it represents Cell when he first shows up, when Piccolo first meets him. So really, really cool figure. But let's move on to number 8. Number 8, I am going to put my boy, where is he? Tao Pai Pai. I am one of those people that thinks the Dragon Ball EX Mystical Adventure is a extremely slept on set. I think as a set, it's super strong. The individual figures, it's like, I don't know. Like, if you're not going to buy Pilaf by himself, right? Unless you love Pilaf. I'm sure there's Pilaf apologists out there. But Tao Pai Pai is like one of those figures that's like, yeah, this one looks awesome. He has great detail. The colors on this thing really pop, man. I love the shading that they did for the pinks and the reds that's on his gi. And his likeness is so good, and he's so expressive. And he's in a super dynamic pose just doing his Dadanpa. Like, I love Tao Pai Pai. I think he's such a great character. I mean, he shows up and just beats the brakes off of Goku. He kills General Blue with his tongue. Freaking breaks off a pillar, throws it, and hops on it to travel around. Like, silly, but so cool at the same time. And his figure just came out so great. He's certainly a highlight in that set. I think I prefer this one as opposed to Cyborg Tao Pai Pai, just because I like this version of Tao Pai Pai a lot more. And, you know, the Cyborg Tao Pai Pai is the last one prize that does reuse the body of this one. So I don't think that one, it deserves to be ranked better than this one in this moment. I flip-flop with that on figures, but I like this figure a lot. If you don't have Tao Pai Pai, highly recommend you pick him up. 7th place, we're going to put Android 19. Android 19 really surprised me, man. I think he's a fantastic figure. Great details, bigger than I expected. It would have been cool if he had an alternate head or something like Android 20, where you could take it off, you could see his brain. But this is really cool. It's representative of when he first shows up in the manga. He's bigger than I thought he should be, but the details and everything along with this figure are super cool. I think he's the most expensive figure to pick up in this set. It's either him or Android 20. I'm not sure, but he's super cool, man. If you remember the Android Saga and you want to get representation of the Android Saga, it's a no-brainer to pick this figure up. He's one of the best in that set, but there is one figure that I think is better than him within that set, and I think that goes to Android 20, who's in 6th place. Android 20 is perfect. His likeness and details are so fantastic, dude. Like it's jaw-droppingly good. He's got all those wrinkles on his face that you can see. His mustache and his hair were done so well. You can see every little bit of detail in there. The little perk where you can take off his hat and see his brain is such a nice touch. They should have done something like that with every android in the set, just to make something cool about them. I don't know, like make them all in E-moving of some way. But yeah, the colors, the details, everything about this figure is amazing. It's no surprise that everybody wants to pick this up and that he goes for so much money. He's just one of those figures that, you know, it's like, yeah, this is a must-have for the set. I like him a lot. He wasn't my favorite of 2022, but he's certainly one of the best. But let's move on to number 5. Number 5 might surprise some people, and it's Super Saiyan Gohan from History of the Film. My favorite Gohan figure, man. This thing is so cool. It's dynamic. It's Gohan doing a Kamehameha. He's got details of the battle damage of his fight with Broly. He's got blood, scratches, and scuffs from the fight. You can see his hair blowing back in his face because he's shooting the Kamehameha. His likeness is awesome. You can see his teeth gritting and everything. It's so cool. Dude is jacked in this form for this figure, at least. Like, Gohan looks so freaking good. I think a lot of people overlook this figure and were focused more on the villains of the set, and I'll admit the villains of the set are pretty cool. They're probably cooler than Gohan. There's probably a few that might end up on this list, but whew, this Gohan is so cool, man. Better than any Gohan that I have, hands down, and I highly recommend you guys pick him up if you don't have him already. But there is a few other figures. There are a few other figures from that set that I think are better. I'm going to put Turles in number 4. Turles is incredible, dude. He's a beefy boy. He's a little taller than I expected as well, but I think he's about like that average, 9.75 inch mark or so. It's been a while since I've reviewed him, so I forget what his height is, but the shading on this is probably the best shading in all of History of the Film. He looks so good. He's got like this little bit of a matte finish. It looks similar to the shading style that they did for Goku in the Super Decisive Battle for Kaioken x3. So it's kind of got that like almost dusty looking shading style on him, but it fits so well, man. he's just big, and it's cool. He's got his like little tree of might fruit in his hand. He's got the scouter that's you can see through. I love this thing so much. I think if you're a fan of just Dragon Ball Z movies in general, pick up Turles. He's in one of the better Dragon Ball Z movies, in my opinion. But I'm going to move on, and this might contradict my tier lists that I did in the past for history of the film, but over time it has changed my opinion a little bit. I'm going to put third place, Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, the last one prize from history of the film. Surprised me, man. This figure really surprised me. If you go back and watch my reaction to when they first announced history of the film, you can see that I'm like, I'm not really too optimistic. I'm not excited about this. It looks like the Back to the Film Broly, which I didn't like. And, I thought I was going to hate it because the details and everything, the style for the figure, I was just like, eh. But when I got it and I took him out of the box, I was like, whoa, like what is going on? This thing's awesome. I think pictures really don't do this figure justice. His face looks weird in pictures, but in person, he looks great. He has awesome details. You can see the scratches and scars on his chest from his fight with Goku, because this is Broly from Broly Second Coming. That's why he's in the set with Gohan and Goten. But great shading, really cool artistic liberties here. I know it's very different than what we usually see. It doesn't really look like the anime, but I think this monstrous veiny style fits the best for Broly, like 100%. So if you want to pick up this Broly figure, highly recommend you go get him. He's very unique. He's different. I know there's been a ton of Broly figures, but I think he's one of the cooler ones for sure. Speaking of cooler, segue. My number 2 figure of 2022 is Cooler. Whoa, dude, like it's such a simple figure. I know he's just standing there, but in its simplicity, it still strikes you like super hard. He's tall. He's got super bright paint and shading. Like whoever painted this figure, I want to kiss you. They did such a great job with the great mixtures of, traditional paint, good shading, and then like the glossy stuff on his like his like bluish, purplish spots, or whatever you want to call that color, blue, I guess. And his likeness is so good, dude. They did a fantastic job. Some people, I think, like Metacooler more because he has a more unique paint application on him, and he's got cool details like the mechanical parts. But this Cooler is superb, man. I love this Cooler so much. Maybe not as much as the final form that came out in Back to the Film, but he's close. He is amazing. Like, if you're a fan of Cooler, you need to get this one 100%. More than the Metacooler, in my opinion. All right, before we finish things up and move to my number 1 figure of 2022, let's quickly go over 5 honorable mentions that were pretty good but didn't quite make the list. I'll place them all real quick. It's Cyborg Tao, it's Kid Goku, it's King Piccolo, it's Superhero Shenron, and it's Super Janemba. I did that for you, Brian. If you're watching, I did that for you. I'm just kidding. I do like this figure. He's just, he should have been taller. Yeah, Cyborg Tao is really cool as the last one prize. He changes enough about the other Tao Pai Pai in the set to warrant being, a good last one prize. Kid Goku is one of the best Kid Goku figures out there. I think I might like the Fierce Men of the Turtle Hermit School Kid Goku's better, but this one's not on Nimbus or anything, so it is kind of cool to have him with his power pole. King Piccolo, enough said, dude. Piccolo Daimao. It's Piccolo Daimao. If you don't love this figure, what's wrong with you? The Shenron in Dragon Ball Super Superhero, even though he does use a lot of the assets of the Ultimate Variations Shenron, I just think the execution came out better than the Ultimate Variations Shenron, especially with the paint and shading style that they went. And, of course, Super Janemba is from my favorite Dragon Ball Z movie. He's the main villain, super iconic. And I'm just glad that they made an Ichiban Kuji master release of this figure, and it came out pretty good. But after all of this is said and done, can you guys guess who my number 1 is? Let's give him a special intro. Go. That's right. My best figure of 2022 is the Omnibus Ultra Last One Prize Majin Buu. Man, I was so surprised when I got this thing. I did not expect him to be huge and so heavy and detailed. Like, man, he is incredible. He's one of my favorite figures. The Buu Saga is my favorite part of all of Dragon Ball. I know it's long and there's so many different things that happen in it, but most of the iconic parts of Dragon Ball are in the Buu Saga. Fusion, Super Saiyan 3, Majin Vegeta, the different forms of Buu, Ultimate Gohan, like so many cool things that I think a lot of fans love the most about Dragon Ball is in the Buu Saga. And Majin Buu is a character that is still relevant today. He's OP, dude. Majin Buu's awesome. And now that we have a Master Lee's, I think it's a Master Lee's extra of the character, well done, Bandai. Like, give us more Majin Buu. I love Majin Buu so much. This figure came out so well. If this is what you're going to keep doing with Buu figures, I'm here for it. He's definitely the #1 figure of 2022. But guys, let me know what you think of my best of 2022 list. Tell me how you would rank every figure that came out in Ichiban Kuji of 2022. I would love to hear your thoughts. And yeah, let me know. Does Majin Buu deserve to be #1? Who would you put as #1? Guys, thanks again for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy it, please remember to like the video, comment your thoughts down below, and of course, share this with a friend, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and don't forget that we're doing a monthly giveaway. These are our prizes that we're doing this month for the giveaway, so make sure you become a YouTube member today, hop into the Discord server, and take part in our giveaway on this date. But until the next video, guys, I will see you all later.